Welcome to India Today Global. I'm sitting in Estonia with Mr. Urmas Reinsalu, who's a member of Estonian Parliament, twice Minister for Foreign Affairs and also Minister for Defense. Mr. Reinsalu, thank you so much for joining us. You are also part of the India-Estonia Parliamentary Friendship Union. You've talked to us at length about the relationship between India and Estonia in the past. Could you tell us a little bit of the history to the India-Estonia relationship that you have seen personally, what you're pushing for in terms of a closer relationship between these two countries?
I think there is a vast space of improvement of economic and trade relations, and from particular Estonian perspective of digital, cyber, IT domain. And also I believe India is a civilization, is like a particular planet on Earth. And I think there is a lot of also for Westerners, of Estonians to study and learn from the vast cultural heritage of India.
Right. You were telling us a little bit about the story of how Estonia was one of the few countries to visit India and maintain diplomatic engagement after India's 1998 nuclear test. Could you tell us a little bit about that story as well?
Yes, I think Estonian former President Lennart Meri was a first head of state to pay a visit, state visit to India after these nuclear tests. It raised some criticism in that context, I remember. But Lennart Meri gave an interview also where he responded that for a small country, a nuclear bomb is a international law and principles of that.
Mm-hmm. Could you tell us a little bit about where you have tried to move the India-Estonia relationship? You've also talked about the Russia-Ukraine war. You've also had some criticisms about India's handling of this issue. Do you think it continues? Could you first of all explain to us what you think India should do in this context? And also, if I could ask you, is this a settled issue now between India and European countries like Estonia in terms of Europe accepting India's position on the matter and India's compulsions and India accepting Europe's compulsions on the Russia-Ukraine war?
This war is not a global war, but it affects all world. And India is a global player and having I think, a strategic trajectory in global affairs in coming generations. And therefore, I believe that it is of the much need to mankind that India has a clearer political stance towards aggressor state, defining the role of and responsibility of aggressor state Russia. And also, I think all the further business transactions with aggressor state could be interpreted as encouraging aggressor state in one side, but also from the very practical perspective, giving a monetary leverage and also technological leverage, if we are speaking also export from India to Russia on technological goods. So it is not a call solely towards India. I think all the world countries should make at least a moral assessment towards aggressor state, because there is a lot of talks now about peace plans, about negotiated deal leaning towards peace. But we have to take into consideration that the only person who started this war and only person already in the course of this war, which goes on for the third year, to end it effectively during the date we are having today is Vladimir Putin.
Right. Could I ask you a little bit about India has, of course, explained or said in the past that it would be willing to sit down and bring about some sort of negotiated settlement to help play a mediatory role between Russia and Ukraine. You, of course, as Estonia, share a border with Russia. You're a frontline state. You're a part of NATO as well. Could you tell us how would a country like Estonia view India playing some sort of mediation role in the years to come in trying to settle this conflict?
I think that this mediation, the case is not about the mediation. this is not a deficit of diplomatic skills now, what Earth needs, or particularly the victim state and people of Ukraine do need and deserve. The case is that is only about the calm calculation of benefits and losses of aggressor, and where will be the level of stakes going too high. And I think for India, I think the sharpest diplomatic maneuvering I would call would be a clear signaling that it has a power to make losses to the aggressor, and will effectively readiness of effectively also to implement it if the aggression will not effectively turn away from its strategic attempt. And strategic aiming of this war is not something about the different different provinces in Ukraine. Strategic attempt is annihilation of Ukrainian statehood, and also looking at the genocidal intent of Russia, what they do not hide anyhow, also annihilation of people as a cultural and political entity.
And my last question to you, sir, is that you were, of course, Minister for Defense, Minister for Foreign Affairs as well. Here in Estonia, of course, we have the NATO Cybersecurity Center. There's been some cooperation between India and NATO on cybersecurity exercises, your Locked Shield exercise. Do you see India and NATO doing more together in the future? Would you encourage those developments?
Absolutely. I think that as we put things into perspective, the share of democracies on Earth is diminishing, and it needs that also diminishing also by military capacities we have. So it means that democracies need also first to invest to military industry, to production of ammunition, and also to the global security dialogue in that perspective, because I see also the tectonical threats making rise also in a broader Asian region.
Mr. Urmas Reinsalu, thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for joining us here on India Today Global.